another episode of Metal on a Budget with your host Justin, and today we're checking out a really cool pedal, and that's going to be the Boss GT-1 multi-effects processor. Alright, so obviously I have already kind of set up a tone. All I did was take the Highgain stack, which we'll get into the specs in just a minute. But yeah, we actually did some cool stuff with this beforehand. Obviously, I have used it for practice, things like that. But all you have to do is go to the Highgain stack, add an overdrive to it, put a little noise gate on it, and the thing sounds phenomenal right off the bat. Now, whether if you want to EQ it or not, I do have an EQ on here as well. Kind of trying to get rid of some of the high-end fizz, but it's not like Line 6 products where you have to really fight that. This thing already has a nice, like, I don't know, wavelength as it is. You don't really have to EQ a whole lot with this. It definitely will get you by. Also, I will note that I am running both amps behind me with this CR6. So you got the Jet City Pico amp, and then you have the 5153 IBX tube. They're both tube. I am running them both with the Layman cabs and just kind of blending the amps. This one's running through the effects return, and this one doesn't have an effects loop, so I'm running it to the front of the amp. This one is a lot quieter than this amp. This one can handle drums and like a live band. I just don't think this one's going to be loud enough for that, so I might get rid of this, but I am liking the tone that I'm getting out of this setup. I'm really, really happy with it, and it sounds phenomenal. I mean, yeah, very tight. Noise gate works phenomenal on this amp. Some of the other processors that I've had on the channel, the noise gate just doesn't do what it's supposed to, but that technology is actually a lot older as well. It's kind of outdated in a sense of trying to do the gent thing. We could also click this over one. That's how I kind of have it set up for rhythm and lead. That was the rhythm, and then this is the lead. Yeah. Which anymore, I don't really use the lead, the neck pickup on guitars. I've kind of over the years, especially playing live, half the time I don't even have time to switch to the neck pickup and back. Some parts are just too quick of a transition to be jumping back and forth. Not all parts, but some of them in the past definitely had been hard. So just running this pickup here, the bridge pickup, that's kind of what I prefer. So this thing is right around $200 new, and I'm sure you can get them for $150, $175 used. I did get this one brand new. I personally paid out of pocket, so this video is not sponsored. We're going to be doing a couple different things, but before we start, I want to appreciate everybody tuning in to the episode. As you can see, the quality's looking a little bit better. I am upgrading a little bit slowly, one thing at a time, and eventually I'll meet those goals. So before we move on, I will be using a Schecter CR6 just your standard one, not like the crazy like Sun Valley one or nothing. This is just like a Indonesian one, which I find it a very good guitar. Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and talk some specs here. So you have your switch between channels. You have lots of channels. Over about 99 user presets and 99 built-in presets. So anything that you like from the built-in presets, when you go to save it, it automatically switches it to the user. And we'll just go through this, kind of show you how it works, show you everything. So you have the way you engage the tuner is by doing that. I don't know why that just happened, sorry guys. But the tuner here, we'll go ahead and tune real quick, show you how accurate it is. I think it's a great tuner. It is hard to see on the little display, but you still have, if you know, it's kind of weird because when it turns red, that means you're good, you're tuned, which is easy, but a little bit of getting used to, no joke. But so you just push these two down again, and it takes you back to okay. So you have a foot switch over here. You can turn the volume up and down. You can also save like whammy in there, things like that. And yeah, not too shabby. Kind of having some lighting issues, so bear with me. I just want to show you the screen here, and we'll go to memory, and then you can scroll through these if I can slip in here, and you can switch any one of these that you want, and then you can push exit here. But you can go in and adjust the signal chain like this, so you have all these different things. So you have your out level, all kinds of stuff. Just, it's set up pretty much like a Line 6 Pod HD when it comes to the signal chain. That's what it reminds me of for sure. But you have all kinds of crazy effects, so like your pedal, overdrive, preamp, so you can change the amps. And it does have like actual like amp names in there, like 5150, things like that. Noise suppressor. There's some stuff that I'm not really sure yet. I am kind of new to Boss Pedal processors. Delay, reverb, miscellaneous, I assume. You can do some like controls, like that's what this is right here. So we'll just exit out of this and show you that. So like here's a clean tone. And then you can turn it on. So you can also have that on top of it. You can save like an effect or something that you like. And then of course I like to set it up this way. There's other ways to set it up, of course, where you can have this as like it turns into your distortion from your clean. But I like to just kind of go back and forth. So that's my clean, and then this is my rhythm. And it's just, you know, just a regular distortion. I did put those names in there because I typically use my 5153 amp in the back that you seen earlier in the video. And then here's a lead channel. And you'll notice the switching's very fluent, even without me like jumping back and forth between the guitar and this. It's really smooth, and that's what I like, especially if I'm going to use this for live performances, because I do not like delay or weird hiccups in between switching. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the looper and show you. It's the same concept as the tuner, just with these two. You push them both down, and now the looper's on, and you only get 32 seconds to loop it, but it's still nice to have. just for practice sake, things like that. Let's try to do something and see what happens. And we'll see how it sounds. Cool, it works. So, and then you hold it down and it'll clear it out. So that's kind of how you use those main functions there to tune, things like that. And then we just click this again and it's off. And then also you can turn, so like it's set up right here the same way. If you go in here, these are the same thing. You can turn them off and on. This is just with nothing. Just a dry, clean tone, natural clean. And that was one that I picked up off of the settings that were already built in, and then just kind of built something off of that. And then if you know, you're not happy with that, you can exit out, and then your settings are back to normal. And I also have a volume boost on this. It's subtle, but it's there. So we'll go on to some more features here on the top. You have power supply, which it does not come with one. It takes batteries. And then you got USB where you can plug into the computer and actually run it as a, there's like a software you can use and edit it that way. I would like a phone editing software with this. That would be nice, especially for how cheap it is. I think that should be something. You can actually do an extra expression pedal, which I am going to try that. I actually left my expression pedal at the other guitar player's house that I'm working with the band. Then you got an out, left and a right, and I'm actually running both amps in the background for this demonstration. I just thought it was cool to be able to mix the two sounds. And if you run one, you just want to run into the left mono, but if you run two, you can just plug them in. Headphones, which is nice for at night. AUX, so you can do both. You can listen to it and play like click tracks, drum tracks. So there you have it. That's another episode of Metal on a Budget. And this video isn't sponsored. This is a piece of gear that I personally paid for just to show you guys, because I also was interested in it and I didn't know what the capabilities were, how good it would sound in a room setting or with a band. And it checks all the boxes. It's very loud. It does everything I could possibly ask it to do and more for a budget price. Yeah, I would like a metal, probably metal inputs and things like that, but we'll see how long the plastic inputs on this processor last. I'm going to try to be as gentle as possible, but there is a possibility in the future that I might gig with it. Who knows? I'm not sure yet. I know that as a practice standpoint, it is very good, and I highly recommend it. I was let's just say when I opened the box, I was like, I don't know about this thing. I might have made a mistake. But once I actually started playing it and getting a tone dialed in, I was very happy with it. So, yeah. I thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button for all the latest content, and hope to see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys.